Hello and welcome to Modern Broadcast. We're back at it again with GB Studio. This time I'm going to go ahead and show how to get photos off of your Game Boy camera and put them into your GB Studio projects. This is a great way for storytelling. This is a great way to show off, your photography. Just kind of have fun with the limitations of the Game Boy camera. So we were going to be doing a Flipper Zero video this week. I'm waiting on some parts. So while those parts are coming in, I figured we would go ahead and just do this kind of short little tutorial. And yeah, let's get to it. So the device that I'm going to be featuring in this video is going to be the GB operator. I find that GB operator is by far the most user-friendly out of all the various options that are out there. It's very plug and play with Type-C cable. And when you plug in your game cartridge, it immediately knows what game it is. It could tell if it's a fake, if it's an authentic game cartridge. You could back up your saves. You can upload, play on the emulator and then upload the saves back to the cartridge. So that's handy if that's something that you need to do or want to do and test with. But overall, just a fantastic little see-through device. It's readily available at $49.99 plus shipping from Epilogue. Let's go ahead and get started. I have my GB operator already plugged in. I'm going to go ahead and get my Game Boy camera and plug that in as well. Going to go ahead and open up the playback application. And we see here that it already registers that it's a Game Boy camera. And we could start this right here. This wasn't a thing beforehand. We can play the Game Boy camera as it is. View the album. So we see here we got a picture of my cat Mocha. Up next we have this acorn light that I took a picture of while in Vegas. We got Fat Chocobo with Final Fantasy, I think 2. I think is what it was, or maybe it was Final Fantasy 3. So it's really neat about the Game Boy camera is like you can get really creative. Like I took this picture actually, like all these pictures that we're seeing, I took all these pictures with my DSLR and then I brought them up on the computer screen and was able to take a picture of a picture to be able to kind of showcase these on the Game Boy within its limitations. So we got a fine assortment here. We're going to go ahead and get these transferred off the cartridge. The downside of the Game Boy camera on the GB operator is that it does not actually shoot when plugged in, so you can't use it like as a webcam. There is some other boards out there that will allow you to capture the footage off your Game Boy camera. It looks like a potato, but if that's what you're into, you can do it. So we're going to go ahead and push escape to exit the emulation. Let's go over to the data tab. And we see here we have backup game, backup save, upload save, but photo gallery. And this only, I believe, appears or is able to be selected if the Game Boy camera is in. So we're going to go ahead and click on photo gallery. And we see here all the photos that were on the Game Boy camera show up down below. So we could do a scaling factor. We could scale this up to 10 times. But for GB Studio, it only works up to 1 time. We're going to go ahead and click Save All. Here's our YouTube tutorial that we've been working on. We're going to go to Backgrounds, and we'll just save them all here. Once that is done, we can see that we have them all here. Looks like I have a couple duplicates. So real quick, I'm going to actually move these over to the desktop. There's one step that I actually forgot about before. If we right click on one of these and click on Properties, go to Details, we see that it's only 128 by 112. And in order for this to work completely, it has to at least be 160 by 144. So let's go ahead and open up our editor of choice. And for me, that's Sprite. I'm going to go ahead and go New, 160 by 144. We'll pull this up. And let's do a couple. Control, copy, paste. There we go. So as we see with the 1:1 scale, it takes up everything except for kind of this outside border. And that's perfect for what we need. So again, you can showcase your artwork. You can showcase your photography utilizing this method. And then you can make a premium product with this. There are metal Game Boy shells that you make this feel like a real premium product, and you could slip an NFC tag in the back of it so that way when you sell them or whatever you do with them, they could tap it to their phone and it takes them to a secure link that can only be shared, and then be able to gain access to the actual high resolution photos. Or you can just utilize this for your storytelling. That you're going to be doing a story where, let's see, I think one of the photos that I did, yeah, here's a photo of at my grandparents' house when they were moving up in their attic. I thought this looked creepy. There was this rocking horse here, and then there's just random chair underneath a light bulb. After we cleared out all the Christmas boxes and the snowman and everything, that's what was left up there. And I went up there and I was like, yeah, this is out of a horror movie. We could do this and get this in here. I think I'm one frame short. There we go. And then we can make a horror story and just paste the rest of that black. So, it navigates the story, or it builds on a visual novel, and it just adds more depth. And since it's already being taken with a Game Boy camera, it automatically fits the Game Boy kind of theme. So this is a great way to come up with a premium product to share your artwork. There's so many possibilities with this. Now that we have this in the 160 by 144, let's go ahead. We're going to go save as. We're already in the backgrounds, and I'm going to name this horror story.png, right? There we go. Backgrounds, and hit OK. Now that we're in GB Studio, we're going to go ahead and hit the plus button. We're going to add scene, and we just need to find the horror story. So here it is. So as we see here, our photo has a little bit too much detail where it says the background contains too many unique pixels. There's 203 when the limit is 192. So we got to kind of fix some of this. Let's go back to Sprite. And what we can do here, it looks like this whole wall, right, can kind of get pushed in and duplicated. Let's go ahead and copy. Let's just delete that. And now if we save, click out, click it again. A lot of darkness over here on this side, so it's a little lopsided. It might have been better to actually take from the bottom, so that way when the font pops up, this is probably going to get covered a little bit anyways when we add in text. But as we see, we have our image here, which is amazing. So let's go ahead. Let's do another one. Let's do one as if we are doing an art show, right? Oops. Let's go ahead and Control All, delete that one. So we have this nice wintry road here. Well, I know what the actual image is from. This wintry road that kind of winds. We got some trees, a little bit of sky. There might be too much detail here. I'm not entirely sure. We're going to go ahead and try to see. So I'm going to go ahead and start building our frame. Okay. And there we have it. We now have a frame around our canvas here. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to save that as art print. Go back to GB Studio and call that art print. So this definitely has more tiles than before. This one has 231, where the limit's 192. And so if we click on this and we call this a logo screen, that no longer matters, because basically we're stating that nothing's going to be happening here other than we're looking at this photo. So if you're doing an art gallery, that's going to come in handy for this. And if we color this, oops, might be handy to color. We'll color the scheme here. Turn that back to normal. If we go back to this image, let's change this to, so we need this to be black and that to be white. Now let's go black, there, and there. Save it again. There we have it. We now have a modern border and our art print. So if we're at the screen, I don't know if we can add dialogue or not. Let's see. I don't know if that's going to work or if that's going to say no. Let's go ahead and try it. So no, we can't have any text. It looks like as soon as we put some text on the screen, it just creates all these issues here. We have hello there, here, and also in the middle. So with logo screens, no text is allowed. We'll have to take that out, and basically you just look at the art and you have to back out of it. So when we delete this event, we hit play again, we see that there's no issues. So again, I would strongly recommend utilizing this for showcasing your photography and then like creating a way to share the high-res images, or do a camera challenge and only take pictures with the Game Boy camera without cheating of taking a photo of a photo. But utilize it to kind of make your stories more involved, when you're switching locations, to just kind of build a narrative a little bit better on, instead of having to draw out this road picture. I mean, we could even say that this is a river and we're going down the river on a raft. And if we're making a river game or something, or a game about like summer camp, whatever, and be able to utilize this more to help build those stories and build your world and creation. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like and subscribe. Be sure to check out the Station 622 store. We are working on getting some new things added here. I know right now it's a lot of stickers, a couple hoodies, and like 2 shirts. Hoping to get some more stuff coming here real soon. But yeah, we got kind of a new look going on, a little bit more, less kind of boom in your face, yellow boldness. Yeah, stay tuned for more. Hopefully next week we're going to have that Flipper Zero. I'm just waiting on some parts. And then a commenter wrote to do a Game Boy Studio of a card game. I have a couple ideas with that. I still also want to do the random encounters, kind of Pokemon that's not Pokemon thing. And I'm just going to stop saying the Zelda tutorial. I'm working on it on the side, I promise you. I'm just not smart enough to make it work, to make a tutorial on it. But when I am, and I get it to be how I want it to be, I will release it. I promise. Yeah, thanks everyone so much for watching. Have a great week, and take care.